the review warrior.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I've noticed that's how I start all my videos recently, isn't it? In my Wicked review and in my review for Beetlejuice a couple of months ago. But either way, we are here to talk about my top 10 best films of 2024. This isn't an official list, it's my personal opinion. So without further ado, I'm going to stop prattling on. This, ladies and gentlemen, is my top 10 best films of 2024. And at number 10, we're going to start with...
Number 10.
So at number 10, we are going to start with an animated movie that I was personally surprised by, and that's Transformers 1. I reviewed Transformers 1 on Instagram. In case you don't follow me on Instagram, it's the same name, same stuff, all the movie reviews. But with Transformers 1, I was pleasantly surprised by it. You know the old track record with all the Transformers films. Some are good, some are bad. But this one took a bit of a different approach, what would have been an animated film. And this time, we have different people playing Optimus Prime and Megatron. We haven't got Peter Cullen and Hugo Weaving. This time it's Chris Hemsworth as Optimus Prime and Brian Tyree Henry as Megatron, also known as Orion Pax and D16. And we also have some brilliant direction by Josh Cooley, who directed Toy Story 4 before this one. Basically, it's kind of your normal, how did they become who they are now, how did two best friends become bitter enemies. And I think with Transformers 1, it does it so good, it nails it to a T. And once again, direction by Josh Cooley is just incredible. The animation is brilliant as well. It also brings a couple of funny as hell moments. Like there's the meme, with Optimus Prime going, "Oh yeah, we'll watch this." Transforms and then runs away. Anyway, I prattled on a bit too long. Number 10, Transformers 1.
Number 9.
So number 9 is a film that I didn't review because I was kind of busy at the time, and that's when I lost my urge. I normally lose my urge around the summer, and this year I do regret not reviewing Twisters because Twisters was incredible. It was a brilliant film starring Glenn Powell, Anthony Ramos, Daisy Edgar Jones. It had one of the most intense finales I've ever seen. It kind of involves a movie theatre. And it kind of unlocked a new fear of mine, like a tornado just rumbling through the cinema. Like I can imagine it happening at Odeon Telford, God forbid. But yeah, if you haven't seen Twisters already, it's incredible. It does the first film so much justice, and in my opinion, it's my number 9 best film of 2024.
Number 8.
So number 8, I kind of had a couple of thoughts on what it was going to be. At first, it was going to be Bray Wyatt becoming immortal. But then, Christmas Day, I watched the film. It's kind of a recency bias thing, but I had to include Wallace and Gromit, A Vengeance Most Foul, because that film is just incredible. It was a return to form for Aardman. It was good to see Wallace and Gromit back, especially on Christmas Day. Ben Whitehead provides the voice of Wallace, and he sounds exactly like Peter Sallis, and he just does so much to add to the legacy of the character. And Feathers McGraw, it was good to see that speakless little devil again. There's so many puns as well, which include Anton Deck, the people in the UK who watch from the UK. There's Anton Deck, who I referenced in my review for Alien Autopsy last year. They're in the film. Well, they kind of get referenced in a funny pun. But if you haven't watched Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul, it is going to be on Netflix in the new year. So I watched it on BBC One when it premiered on Christmas Day. But if you haven't watched it, I do recommend it. It's another one of my reviews on Instagram. So that's number 8.
Number 7.
So my number 7 best film of 2024 didn't really get much attention. It got sidelined by Warner Brothers, unfortunately, and that's During Number 2. Clint Eastwood's maybe final film, because he's apparently meant to be thinking about retirement, which I don't blame him. He is 90 odd. But During Number 2 is a fantastic, harrowing, thrilling film, and so intense with so many good performances all across the board, from Nicholas Hoult, Toni Collette, Zoe Deutsch, J.K. Simmons, Francesca Eastwood, Clint Eastwood's daughter's in the film, and she was amazing. I reckon this film's going to get nominated for at least 1 or 2 Oscars, you know, Best Acting with Nicholas Hoult, Best Directing with Clint Eastwood. If you haven't watched it, give it the attention it deserves. You won't regret it.
Number 6.
So number 6. Number 6 is an interesting one because it is one of the most messed up films I've seen in 2024. That is The Substance. Oh my god. With some brilliant directing by Carolee Farjat, with some amazing acting by Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley. 2 easily Oscar-worthy performances in one of my best films of the year. It was horrible, it was incredible, it was weird, it's one of the sickest films. It has one of the goriest scenes I've ever seen in any film. And that might be why The Substance is my number 6 best film of 2024. So we come to my top 5 best films of the year. I kind of had to whittle them around, you know, kind of decide which I want at what place. And it was hard this year because there wasn't many good films per se, but what I liked is what you see on the screen now. So that's why at number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5 is one of the greatest looking films of 2024. It is, of course, Denis Villeneuve's second part of the epic extravaganza, Dune Part 2. This film is filled with so many great looking shots, so much good acting by Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya and the whole ensemble cast. It even had one of the most vicious turns for Austin Butler. From Elvis to Fade Routher, he was incredible in this film. And again, it was amazing. It was amazing looking. The fight scenes were immaculate. Like, there wasn't no shaky cam. There was just all you saw, 2 men fighting. Sword play, you heard all that stuff. It was so good to watch. It was so good to hear. And if you haven't watched it, I do recommend it.
Number 4.
So number 4. Oh, the MCU is back, ladies and gentlemen. Number 4, Deadpool and Wolverine. When I went to see this film at the cinema, I was so excited for it. And even in the first 5 minutes, you know what you're in for. This film was a thrill ride. It was so good. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman were incredible together. And even from the opening scene where you just see Deadpool kicking ass to Bye 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 by NSYNC, it was just immaculate, epic cinema. Just like I said with Dune Part 2. But yeah, Sean Levy directed it. Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, once again, killing it in their roles as the Merc with the Mouth and Wolverine. They played off each other so well. There were some banterous moments. There was some brilliant action sequences. So many good cameos as well. And there's one scene in the car. We've all seen it on TikTok. Hugh Jackman going off on one at Ryan Reynolds. Or Wolverine going off on one at Deadpool. It's amazing. If you haven't seen it, what are you waiting for? If you don't like it, bye bye bye. Okay, top 3. Now, yeah, I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with my top 3 best films of the year. But as far as I'm concerned, I love these 3. These 3 were incredible. They were emotional. They were epic. And, yeah, number 3.
Number 3.
If there was ever a perfect film to put in number 3 that depicts the feeling of an anxiety attack so well, it's Inside Out 2. I wasn't expecting much from this film. I thought it wasn't going to be a good film. I thought it was going to just be another Pixar cash grab. But what we got is an incredible, amazing coming of age story. And once again, Pixar knocked it out of the park with this one. If they make a third one, I wouldn't be annoyed. I would actually be excited for it. And as someone who suffers from panic attacks every now and then, they depicted a panic attack so well in this film. And it has one of the funniest characters I've ever seen in a film. Pouchy, I'm just going to say his name. He had me in stitches. So if you haven't watched it, Inside Out 2, number 3.
Number 2.
Now this one is going to come as a massive surprise to you all. Again, recency bias. I did watch this a couple of weeks ago, one of the first days of December. We've all seen it. We've all seen the meme of Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo crying their eyes out. Number 2 is Wicked. I mean, Wicked Part 1. Wicked Part 1 was just, it was epic. It kind of depicted the grand scale of Oz in the best possible way. John M. Chu did a great job directing it. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande were incredible in the film. And it left on such an amazing cliffhanger. When the credits started, I was like, no, I want more. And honestly, I loved the film so much, and I would really love to watch it again, and I cannot wait for part 2. I hope it lives up to what part 1 was, if that makes sense. And John M. Chu, I've got so much faith in you. You're going to nail it for part 2.
Number 1.
And now we come to the best film of 2024. In my opinion, this film had me laughing, it had me crying. I was such a fan of the animation. DreamWorks are back on top form with The Wild Robot. The Wild Robot was an incredible and just emotional film that I personally loved. The voice acting was amazing. It's just basically about a robot raising a baby goose. That's all it is. And what we got had one of the most emotional endings I've ever seen in a film. The animation looks spectacular, and if you haven't watched it, I would definitely recommend it. It left me wanting so much more. Now I do hope they do a sequel, but I hope they don't mess it up. But we shall see, won't we? Either way, The Wild Robot, my number 1 best film of 2024. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be my top 10 best films of 2024. I cannot wait to do my top 10 worst films of the year, because there were some atrocious films in 2024. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the list. Thank you all so much for checking out this video, and thank you for continuing your support. I know I don't do videos as much as I used to. I do appreciate you all sticking around and keeping me going. I do reviews on Instagram as well, so if you want to check them out, I think the link's going to be on my... It's the same name, The Review Warrior, same ugly face. And yeah, with that being said, I'm going to go and get my worst films of the year ready. And I'll see you all in that next part. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been The Review Warrior, and I'll see you next time. Cheerio.
Thanks for watching the review. Any recommendations, just comment below and let me know. Remember to like and subscribe.